Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Zero Hour. We'll be talking in this hour a lot about national security and specifically about our war effort against ISIS, how it's going, what we're doing wrong, why we are relying too much on military solutions and on the national security apparatus to protect us when we should be looking more to diplomacy, to negotiation, and to humanitarian solutions. And that gets me to a story that I wanted to talk about this week because I think it's important for all of us to consider, not just those of us who are in the news business, not just those of us who write about, report about, or comment on national security and military issues, but all of us. And that is a recent poll conducted by the Pew Research Center in association with Columbia University, a poll of journalists on their own sense of personal security as it regards the national security state. Specifically, the poll found that about 2/3 of investigative journalists who were surveyed, that is 64%, believe that the U.S. government has probably collected data about their phone calls, their emails, and or other online communications. 8 out of 10 journalists believe that being a journalist increases the likelihood that their data will be collected. Those who report on national security, foreign affairs, or the federal government are particularly likely to believe that the government has already collected data about their electronic communications. 71% of people believe that's the case. All of this is according to a new survey of members of Investigative Reporters and Editors, a nonprofit member organization for journalists. Now, why does this matter? This matters because it has an inhibiting effect on people's willingness to pursue certain leads, follow certain stories, and take them to the logical conclusion. That means that everyone who consumes news, and that's most of us, certainly most of us listening to this program today, may not be getting the full story. Now, to the credit and to the as a word of support to our journalistic community, let's be clear. Most journalists will do what they need to do despite this shadow of potential surveillance. But I have to tell you, this is a big deal. This has, the survey says, so that so far these concerns about surveillance and hacking have mostly fallen short of keeping many journalists from pursuing a story or source. But 14% of journalists surveyed say that in the past 12 months, these concerns have kept them from pursuing a story or reaching out to a particular source and have led them to consider leaving investigative journalism altogether. I have to tell you, I myself have had some of these concerns in some stories I've reported in the past, in some areas of interest that I've pursued just to see if there is a story there. I've been concerned myself. Look, I've interviewed Pakistani officials about drone warfare, for example. I certainly had concern when doing the background work for that story. I always have concern when I have an email exchange. I haven't in a while, but I have had email exchanges with people in Pakistan, in India, in the Middle East, or people with Arabic-sounding names. Now, that does create a chilling effect on reporting. I've tried to fight it. These journalists have tried to fight it too, but we have to be aware that our national security state is interfering with the practice of journalism. Our national security state is intimidating journalists. Our overall cultural climate in this country is not making it easy to report the kind of national security stories that might make your own government or the right wing unhappy. This is something some of us live with every day, and these investigative journalists who are braver and tougher, candidly, than I am, live with on an hourly basis. It's something that needs to change if we're going to have a free and fair dialogue in this country. I'm Richard RJ Eskow, and this is The Zero Hour.